It's a very violent culture, actually. Like there was like my whole adolescence was just like drinking and fighting and like very violent. And like my dad was atheist. My mom was raised Catholic, and she wanted to raise us with Catholicism so that we would have some kind of moral framework. We did a genealogy project in social studies where we had to make a family tree, and I found out about all these Jewish names on my mom's side of the tree. And I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. I'm part Jewish, you know. That's like, and I was really proud of it, and would like tell people, yeah, I'm part Jewish. And then I actually experienced some anti-Semitism, which is funny because I wasn't even Jewish.
Welcome to Choosing to be Chosen, the podcast. My name is Kylie Ora Lobel, and today my guest is Roman Thomson. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. Great name, by the way.
Thank you.
Choosing to be the chosen.
Thank you.
I love that.
Well, you are too.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me...
Roman Thomson. Thomson like the Pesach Seder.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was thinking Leah Thompson. Or isn't that an actress
Leah
from...
Thompson?
Or am I getting it wrong from Back to the Future?
Yeah,
like the mom, is that her name?
Yeah, which I always thought was funny because the film is about like the guy and his mom, like the mom's like in love with him and he's trying to get, it's like very kind of like Freudian, which is funny because the actress's name was Thompson, so it was like kind of like hit different for me.
And then also, Tintin?
Yes, Thomson and Thompson.
Thompson and Thompson.
Right, and they spell their name, one's with a P, one's without a P.
Oh, really?
And mine's without a P.
Oh, really? I didn't. So that's like a little inside joke from Tintin?
I don't know, but it's well, that's a British show, right?
Tintin was by Belgian.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and then Steven Spielberg made the movie.
Right.
But it's funny because the artist was very anti-Semitic.
Oh.
And then Spielberg goes and makes the movie, which is fantastic.
Well, that's funny because it's such a Jewish thing. Like Jewish people always like. I never got compared to Thompson once until I joined the Jewish community. Then it was like a landslide of Thompsons.
You know why?
Why?
Because Jewish kids who are observant on Shabbat, they're not watching Saturday morning cartoons, they're reading comic books. So they know all the comic books. And Tintin is like one of the best comic books.
Oh.
That's got to be why. Because, yeah, my husband also grew up on a ton of comic books, Archie and, you know, all the Marvel and DC and everything.
Right.
Yeah. Just figured something out. Mind blowing.
Yeah. But did you get my joke about the Pesach Seder?
No, I didn't.
It's a little bit of a subtle joke.
Okay.
The Chachma son, the Russia son, the Tom son.
Oh, that's funny.
That's like a yeshivish joke.
My publisher is Wicked Son.
Oh, whoa!
That's
so that's the Russia, Russia son.
Yeah, also a nod to the Pesach Seder.
Nice.
And
whoa.
Pesach is my favorite Jewish holiday.
That's such a cool one. Why?
So I think as a writer, Pesach just has so many like metaphors that I love about slavery to freedom. And like every year you just hear like another teaching about that and you're like, oh, that's amazing. And it's so inspiring. Like it's a chance to start fresh and, you know, figure out what is enslaving you in your life and then breaking free from it.
And what about that equates to writing for you?
I mean, writing is just full of metaphors and full of like deep thoughts and I don't know.
Yeah.
I also like cleaning a lot. So Pesach involves a lot of cleaning.
That's the pshat.
And storytelling, like also with writing, you know, with you're sitting around the table and telling a story.
Right. Well, it's interesting too because it's also, I feel to me, the writer's journey, that archetypal plot, the very primordial, you know, taking the people out and Moses, he's like Neo from the Matrix or Luke Skywalker, like that type of a character who's really on this kind of archetypal journey. So
yes, it's very
I see
inspiring.
that too. Yeah.
So
also, I came to Judaism through recovery.
Okay, so let me go back.
Okay.
I want to know where you're from.
Oh, I'm from Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan. Ever heard of it?
What? Is that sort of Canada? Or
it is Canada.
Okay.
It's the most Canada, actually. It's right in the middle. It's way up north. And the accents are very thick. And the culture is very Canadian. Drinking, fighting, hockey, snowboarding. Music. People are into music. There's not much to do when it's so cold, you know? And Canadians are great at music, too. There's one thing, we produce a lot of movie stars and a lot of musicians.
Comedians, too. Norm Macdonald,
Oh yeah.
Mike Myers, Lorne Michaels.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald was just the funniest.
Okay.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think of Mike Myers more as like a comedic actor, but yeah, he's a comedian. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey. Yeah. So these are all. Yeah, these are the people. Yeah. And Ryan Reynolds. Let's see here. Ryan Gosling is from there. The list goes on. Really, we could just make a whole podcast out of great Canadian actors and entertainers. But the interesting thing is that, well, when I was a kid, I always used to do that. Like Canadians always do that because it's like a hidden minority kind of where you're like, oh, that guy's Canadian. You know, that's very cool. But I would do that with Jewish people too, even before I knew I was Jewish. I'd be like, oh, that actor's Jewish. Like a sense of pride. Isn't that strange?
I would look that up, like starting my conversion process because there was a site called Jew or Not Jew.
I love that site. It's so funny.
And it'd be like, he's sort of a Jew. Like
Yeah.
some actors, sort of a Jew. And I'm like, okay, that's something.
Yeah. Like Mark Wahlberg, sadly, not a Jew.
Because Berg,
Yeah.
no, I remember
Charlie
like,
Chaplin, not a Jew.
seemed like it.
I know.
Yeah.
That blew my mind.
Yeah. And also when I found out that the woman from the transgender show with Jeffrey Tambor, Gabby Hoffman, was not a Jew, I'm like, are you kidding me? Her name's Gabby Hoffman.
Oh, slow down. Jeffrey Tambor is Jewish, though, right?
Yes, he is. And then the creator of the show is Jewish.
Which
like everyone
show?
on the, it was the one where he played a transgender father becoming a mother.
Oh, I didn't even hear
Yeah.
about that.
It was a while ago, but Gabby Hoffman, to me, she was also in Now and Then. She looks so Jewish. Her name is Jewish, but I think she's Italian.
Oh, interesting. Hoffman can go either way.
Yes. Yeah.
The man names with two N's on the end are German, whereas with the one N, did she have two N's or one?
She had one, but
Oh.
a lot of Jews married Germans, and so like it gets mixed up.
It does, yeah.
There's like Jewish people named Smith or converts or whatever.
Right.
Non-Jewish father, Jewish mother. So
Right.
you really don't know.
Yeah. Well, Jerry Goldsmith was a famous composer, and that's like a super Jewish sounding name, but like also has that like classic British sound. Wait, I was gonna say, oh, you know the actress Goldberg? I think her first name's Sarah from Barry. Did you watch Barry?
No, is she Jewish?
She's Jewish and Canadian, and she's so talented, like incredible talent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
So what was life like growing up in? You said Saskatchewan.
Well, it was pretty interesting. Pretty like, what's the word for it? Is ecstatic the right word? But not in a positive way. Well, it's a very violent culture actually. Like there was like my whole adolescence was just like drinking and fighting and like very violent and like actually a few years maybe like wow, like a few years after high school, quite a few years, I was talking with someone and we were reminiscing, and somebody told this story about how after a football game, these guys from the rival team were driving and they were in a gas station and this whole mob of people attacked their car. And I was like, oh my God, did they call the police? And my friend was like, dude, do you not remember high school? Like that kind of thing happened all the time. That was like a typical weekend. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So it was pretty like almost traumatic actually, but definitely unique. I wrote a screenplay about it that I still plan to direct one day. I'm finally directing my first. Well, I directed one other feature film, but we didn't get distribution for it. So this is my second feature film now that I'm making. That's like very low budget, and I'm filming it in Africa.
Nice.
Yeah,
But is it about Canada?
No, so
Okay.
that one's gonna have to wait a while because that's
Okay.
like a drama, and there's not much market for drama these days. So sorry to jump around so much, but
It's okay.
we're having an interesting conversation.
Sure. Did you grow up with any religion?
I grew up. Well, my dad was atheist. My mom was raised Catholic, and she wanted to raise us with Catholicism so that we would have some kind of moral framework. But then after we were not converted, what's it called? Confirmed, which is sort of like Lahavdil, like the bar mitzvah sort of for a Catholic, but boys and girls do it. And after that, she let us make our own decision, and didn't want to do it anymore because I found it very boring. It was kind of a drag.
Did you believe in God?
Yes, yes. I always had a relationship with God.
What did you think God was?
Well, I liked the idea of the end of the world coming and kind of work being over, school's out for the summer kind of thing. School's out forever. I really liked that. So I was trying to do my best to be on the right side of that big shift. That was one thing I remember about my relationship with God. I remember I would talk to God. I went to a Christian, like a Baptist, some kind of Protestant summer camp, and they were like really very, like, Protestantism's a lot more spiritual than Catholicism. So that was my first kind of real like immersion into spirituality and God. And so I loved that, and I got really like moved deep inside my soul with that. So
What would they
yeah,
do? Was it singing songs? Like, what was so spiritual about it?
songs, stories, like games, and you had your camp counselor who was in charge. Each cabin had a counselor who was, you would have these like bedtime talks that were all about God and all. They're talking about Yeshka, but I kind of see it as like it's all really like a different name for God. Really, when you're talking about an all powerful being that created the world and runs the world and loves you no matter what. That's how we talk about God. They have a different religions have a different label on it, but
Yeah.
so that was interesting. And then around that time, actually, a few years later, I got really into movies, and I became obsessed with the art form of films and the directors, and I had these directors that I liked, and that was really my first exposure to Judaism, because I was seeing movies taking place in New York and L.A., really seeing Jewish life for the first time through these films, and I was really attracted to it. Like, it was like this like glowing, warm feeling towards it. A little bit like the feeling you get at a Shabbat dinner with the candle lights and everything, the conversation and all that stuff. So that was a microscopic version of that I would get every time I would see Jewish people or Judaism in movies. And the funny thing was I was 13 years old at that time. So it coincided with when would be my bar mitzvah age. So yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Were there any Jews where you lived?
There was a few. My neighbors down the street, the dad was Jewish and the mom did like a non-kosher conversion.
Mhm.
So the kids were their dad, whatever. There was a lot of people like that. It's actually, I didn't realize at the time, but there was like several families. Like it was the Buckwolds, and then they had like a brother and a cousin. So there was like 3 or 4 Jewish families that they were all related, the Buckwolds. But I don't think any of the kids were Jewish, because I think it was all the dads that were Jewish. And then I got into high school, and I knew like 1 or 2 Jewish kids. There was a Jewish girl that went to the other school, and then there was a Jewish kid at my school. But that's really it. Oh, and then my doctor was Jewish as well.
And where was your family from originally?
My mom's side was from Poland and Ukraine and kind of that whole area. Galicia, it's called. Maybe you've heard of it. And then my dad's side was from England.
Okay.
Yeah. So around that same time that I got into film. Oh, here's where I was going with the story. So I discovered films, discovered Jewish people, felt this sense of warmth and like longing almost. And then in 8th grade, right that same time, we did a genealogy project in social studies where we had to make a family tree. And I found out about all these Jewish names on my mom's side of the tree. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. I'm part Jewish. That's like, and I was really proud of it. And would like tell people, yeah, I'm part Jewish. And then I actually experienced some anti-Semitism, which is funny because I wasn't even Jewish, or maybe I was, but I don't know. I didn't know it. Whatever. But yeah, it was like some pretty gnarly anti-Semitism that came up over the years. So that's.
Was it just like kids telling jokes? Like, what did that look like?
Well, I was in the Fiddler on the Roof, and I actually played the only non-Jewish character in the entire play, Fyedka, the Russian soldier. and someone carved a swastika on the playbill outside of the theater. They carved a swastika on my forehead and drew a Hitler mustache on me. Not very
That's
nice.
no,
Pretty hardcore.
no. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry to bring the mood down.
No. it's
But that's all part of my journey. So then I
Yeah.
was like, well, this is like really the Jewish experience, but I'm not Jewish. But it's anyway. So then I moved to Toronto after college, and then I was really meeting a lot of Jewish people, and again feeling this sense of warmth, and like every time I'd meet them, I'd be asking all these questions. Thought it was so cool. That was the first time I ever heard about keeping Shabbat, not using the oven, not driving, not turning on the TV. I couldn't believe that, and so thought about converting even actually at that point.
What did you love about Shabbat? I mean, it sounds like that.
I hadn't even been to a Shabbat.
Yeah.
I just loved Jewish people, and I
Mhm.
like and because I was so into film and filmmaking, I just saw the two as synonymous a little bit, especially since that was my initial introduction to Judaism. So yeah, I guess I just kind of saw it all as part of like this weird sense of destiny that I was meant to be making films, and then by association I equated that to Judaism for some on some subliminal level, which paid off when I moved to LA. This is where that kind of like foreshadowing paid off, because that's when I discovered this thing about the matrilineal line. When I was on the plane from LA to Sundance Film Festival, I sat right in between a Chabad couple. Like the mom was over here and I'm here, and the dad and the son are right beside me, and we get into this super deep conversation about creativity and recovery, and where does what is the nature of inspiration and flow state, and where does the creative process come from? We're talking about God, but we're not talking about it in those terms. And so then she's telling me about her Judaism, and I'm like really into it. Like I always am when I meet Jewish people. And she says to me, she's like, "Are you sure you're not Jewish? Like you have a Jewish neshama?" And I'm like, "Well, actually, funny you should say I'm part Jewish." And she's like, "No, you can't be part Jewish. That's like being part pregnant. It's not possible." So, but then they explained the matrilineal line to me. So I got back to LA from Sundance, got a hold of this family tree from 8th grade, looked it up. Sure enough, one of the branches with Jewish names on it was my mom's parents, who the story goes had immigrated to Canada, changed their name, which was a little bit fishy, and then also this. So it goes in the family lore that they converted to Christianity. So at that point, I kind of felt like I had won the lottery because I'd always wanted to be Jewish. Come to find out, I guess I am Jewish, according to my 8th grade genealogy report. But that's not necessarily kosher as far as, a Beis Din's concerned. So I had to get some kind of records, some sort of gravestones, marriage records, whatever. And I wasn't able to dig that up. Tried, hired a genealogist, spent quite a bit of money, got no further than I had gotten on my own. So then I was like, well, I could keep hiring people and spending all this money, or I could just, I have to learn all this stuff anyway. So I may as well convert. And then that way I'll for sure be Jewish either way. And I'll get to a crash course in Judaism. So it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me that I couldn't find those records, because it forced me to really immerse myself in the religion of Judaism, as opposed to maybe if I would have just discovered and been able to prove that I was Jewish, I would have just been another secular Jew, not so committed to religion.
What was their name? Do you know?
Her name was Jerkowski. His name was Borowski. And they changed it to some really complicated Polish name that was the name of like Polish royalty.
Mm-hmm.
And then that got changed. That got shortened when they came to Canada. It got like anglicized to Zakreski.
Okay.
Zakreski, yeah.
Do you know why they would have converted? Like, were they in the pogroms or something?
Well, either him or his dad was very wealthy, and then got in some trouble with some kind of a pogrom type situation, like got sent to jail and for being Jewish, was persecuted and all that stuff. And so they decided to start a new life in Canada, new name, new religion, leave all that behind. So
Yeah, that happens a lot.
sadly.
Yeah. Okay, so then when did you start? I know you said you got into it
Well,
through
hold on.
recovery.
Can you tell me
Yeah.
about you a little bit? I'm very curious. I've been talking so much. What's your book about?
It's about my conversion process.
Oh,
So also, Orthodox conversion process.
yeah.
And
RCC?
yeah.
Nice.
So
Air pound.
but I have converts on because I think it's just the most fascinating stories.
Really? So
Yeah.
what do you find fascinating about conversion people?
I like that conversion people.
Yeah,
Funny.
thanks. That's the new term.
I mean, everyone just comes at it from a different background and then they're all just seeking something. So I've had on converts here from, India, here, Canada, South Africa, Zimbabwe, men and women. Some people did it, after they met their partner. Some did it on their own. One person my first episode, Esther, she went from South Africa where she was Christian and she had a dream that she was in Israel. So she went to Israel to convert Jews to Christianity. Then she ended up converting to Judaism.
Oh, wow.
So
And her name was Esther?
Yeah, her name's
That's
Esther.
wild.
Yeah. So, so how did you get started with your conversion?
Well, so then, let's see here. So made the decision to convert, just reached out to the RCC really, and they gave me a bunch of books to read. You got the stack of books too, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, there's always a stack of books.
That's true, actually. Yeah. And read the books, went back to them. They kind of sent us back. In the meantime, I met my wife. That's a whole other story. I'm actually writing a movie about it, so I don't want to tell it right now.
You have a lot of movies going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one I'm writing like currently right now. Now that I've finished this other one, but yeah. So, then we got married. Anyway, we were together at that time, married civilly, not married under a chuppah, so like not really married for intents and purposes. And I started this process, this conversion process, and it was like a 2 or 3 year process.
And was she religious at the time?
She was starting to become religious again.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had gone really like chook, the term chooky, like chook.
Like
when you're like
Balchuva-y?
yeah.
Ball
She was
it
like
out.
chooking hard, and then she like kind of pulled back, and then she was around the time we met, she was just starting to get back into it, and so we sort of grew together on that journey. So
It's amazing. And how did you find out about the RCC and why did you choose that Beit Din?
that was the one that was recommended to me by Rabbi Moshe Cohen. And it was mentioned by many people that was the gold standard of conversion, recognized all over the world, like gold stamp. No one's going to ever be able to say anything about that one. So,
Yeah. And was she okay with you doing Orthodox?
yes, more than okay.
Yeah.
She's more religious than me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you envision a life together where, you're doing Shabbat and things like that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so what was the conversion process like? How long did it take? What'd you study?
Took a couple of years, 3, maybe 2 or 3, depending where you mark the beginning and the end. Well, obviously the end was when I went in the mikveh and walked out. But studied the first unit. I got to pick my units. The first one I wanted to do was davening, because I was like going in there and we're just like, God is so great. God is so great for like an hour. It's boring. I don't know what's going on. It's just reading all these words. So I wanted to really understand Shemona Esrei. What does it mean? It's very powerful once you start to dig into it and know what each part represents. So that was that. And then we did brachos next. Also very important. And we just ran the gamut. There's so much to learn. Shabbat, there's a whole unit on Shabbat. Whole unit on... Yeah, what was the first one that you did?
So that was my second conversion with RCC.
Oh.
So it's kind of more like relaxed.
Oh,
So I
interesting.
didn't have the units thing, but For anyone who doesn't know, davening means prayer, and brachos means blessings. Yeah.
Bless ups, I call them.
Yeah. What did you connect with the most?
The bless ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's interjecting holiness into everything you eat. That's pretty cool.
And everything you do, it's like injecting it into the mundane.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's putting a little holy cone around your whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I start my morning, I wake up, I pull my mouth tape off because I'm really into biohacking too.
Okay.
Pull the mouth tape off, Modani, splash, splash, all nati-las. Last thing I do, Shema, mouth tape on.
Mm-hmm.
That's like starting and ending the day with God. That's pretty cool. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. And you learn gratitude that way too.
Totally.
Yeah. Just you wake up every day, even if you're having like the worst day, you can say, well, at least I'm alive. At least God woke me up another day.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And somebody was saying recently that the POV of Modani is gratitude to God for trusting me. By giving me another day of life, you're actually trusting me to be productive and useful and good with this day.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so cool.
Going back, I was wondering when you talked about Jewish filmmakers, which ones did you really love?
Woody Allen was my favorite. It's fun. It sucks because he's got a bad reputation now, but I don't know. He never got convicted of any crimes, but he did some weird stuff, and like he married his niece, which is like, but mind you, they've been married for like 40 years or something. Like that's like not many people stay married that long, especially in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst, but it's definitely the weirdest. No, she wasn't his niece. She was his adopted daughter.
Mia's adopted daughter. He never adopted her.
Oh, he never adopted her.
Yeah, but we don't have to get into.
Okay, well, it's
he's a
super
brilliant
weird.
filmmaker.
Yeah, but
Yes.
like brilliant artists are,
Yes.
eccentric and weird, so we can
Yeah.
just leave it to that. But I love his films, and who else? Let's see here. We loved Woody Allen. This is a long time ago now, so I'm trying to like remember back. I've had so many filmmakers I loved over the years. The Safdie brothers are current Jewish filmmakers who I love. Yeah. How about you? Do you like filmmaking?
Oh, I also loved Woody Allen.
Really?
Movies, yeah.
What are some of your favorite of his films?
Hannah and Her Sisters,
Oh, that's
Manhattan,
a great one.
and Annie Hall.
Manhattan and Annie. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are like,
Yeah.
I've probably seen Annie Hall like 15 times. I'm just obsessed. It's just a masterpiece of a film.
Yeah.
Also just rewatched Deconstructing Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that one?
I think a long time ago. There's so many.
It's
He
very
came
good.
out with like a movie every year, it seemed. Vicky
Yeah.
Cristina Barcelona is great. Like,
Oh, yeah. That is
just
a good one.
Midnight in Paris. Love that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Sweet and Lowdown with
No.
Sean Penn?
No.
Oh, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's about this eccentric, curmudgeon jazz musician
Mm-hmm.
based on Django Reinhardt. Incredible.
Yeah. I love
Incredible.
Selig. That's a funny
yeah,
one.
that is a good one.
Yeah.
Selig.
So many brilliant ones.
Have you seen Stardust Memories?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've seen a lot. But okay, so when you go to the mikvah, what Hebrew name did you choose and why?
Great question. My name is David Roman Thomson. I go by Roman in the entertainment world because it's a little more distinctive than David Thompson. So they said your name's David, you can just stick with that, or you can change it, or you can add something. That was Rabbi Byron told me that leading up to the process. So when I went in, it was Parshas, one of the Yosef Parshas, Parshot, the weekly Torah portion. And Yosef's spirit was in the air. And he's always kind of been my spirit animal, like my spirit figure a little bit in the Torah, because just his vibe and, the way he kind of like moved through the world, and very lucky guy, would get in these horrible situations and then come out like so much better off. My life's always kind of been like that. And things like that. Very obsessed with his hair and taking care of his hair, which my wife tells me is another Joseph quality I have. And also very in touch with his dreams. And my dreams have always been like predicting my future and strange stuff, like really bizarre things over the years with my dreams. So when I came out of the mikvah, I just said, I'm David Yosef. Just kind of clicked.
That's a very strong name.
Thank you.
Did you like the musical Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat?
I actually have never seen it.
I've never seen it either, but I know it's a very popular one.
Right. I remember when it came out, and I remember seeing the poster art and thinking it was really cool.
Yeah.
And it's a great story. All those Torah stories are wonderful. Don't you think if they were to cast it today, who do you think would play Joseph?
Probably Timothy Chalamet or
Oh,
something.
yeah, that's good.
I mean, he's very hot right now. So,
Yeah.
and he's Jewish.
Kim Kardashian would make a good Potiphar too, right?
I don't want to think about that.
That was my wife's suggestion. We always like to cast Torah stuff. So the one that I would love to do would be David and Shaul, but do it like contemporary and make it kind of a gangster film. I think that'd be really cool.
Well, I just saw the animated film, David. It was excellent.
Oh.
My friends are in it. The Schiffs, like the entire family voiced the characters.
Mark Schiff?
No, Elliot Schiff.
Oh.
Ellie Schiff and Sherry Schiff and their kids. They moved from LA to Teaneck, but they're all in it. And then it's just an amazing story. It's from a Christian perspective, but they keep it pretty Jewish. There's only one reference to Yashka, to Jesus.
How do they reference Yashka?
There's just like a scene where it looks like he's like going to be crucified or something, but it was
so it's like a imagery reference. Yeah. It's not like a blatant reference.
Yeah, but it was so good. Amalek was in it. Like it was. There was things that I forgot from the Torah, and I was like, oh yeah, this is just a great way to teach Torah. My kids enjoyed it. It was in a theater.
Where can I see it?
It's in the theaters.
It's in theaters now?
Yeah, it's very popular.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. So, what did your family think of your conversion?
They're pretty cool with it. I mean, at that point in my life, I had done so much crazy misadventuring that they were just like, all right, this is just like, what are you up to now? All right, as long as you're happy, safe, Like I said, I came to God through recovery, so that's was a pretty rocky road. So, they were just happy that I'm doing well, So,
was it a Jewish recovery place or anything like that?
No, just. By the way, remind me, still have to tell you the craziest thing that happened tonight. It was just AA is like a God-centered program. So the whole thing is like you cannot get off. If you're addicted to drugs or alcohol or both, it's literally impossible to stop with your own willpower because you become a slave to these substances and this mentality to use them. So you have to bring God into the equation in order to break that cycle. So, and from there, a lot of people do become really spiritual or really religious. Some people have a tough time with the God thing, so they'll just use the concept of a higher power in more of a practical sense. But those people do have a tough time with it, with getting over, the compulsion and the obsession. So really that was what saved my life. I mean, I should have been dead 10 times over, no exaggerating. So really, God was in my life and I wanted to deepen the relationship with him. So, well, actually, I should tell you the story about this moment where I really became clear that God was in my life. So I was going through a very tough time, which I kind of alluded to. And a friend of mine who's Catholic, she suggested I try praying. So when I was praying, at this point, I was one of those people God, if you believe in God, you're stupid, whatever. But I was okay, whatever. She's we're just going to say what we're grateful for and ask him for help. And I was okay, it couldn't hurt, So we did it. And I was that's kind of cool. So I did it on my own. First time I did it on my own. I was lying in bed and I started hearing this ringing in my ear. It's the sound, the sound wave was getting wider. It was opening up, and it was and then it was vibrating through my body. My whole body was humming with this, and I was what is happening? And I said, God, is this you? And as soon as I said that, the feeling got way stronger. And I was oh my God, this is incredible. God's talking to me right now. And then I was so blown away by this experience that I started to second guess it. I'm like, maybe I'm having a stroke. Like, am I having a seizure? Like, what's going on? And as soon as I started thinking that, this feeling stayed just as intense, but it became really calming and soothing. And I was just like, wow, that was like the most, at that moment, I knew that God was in my life and was watching over me. So I don't know. I don't know. I never have told that story publicly. I don't really like to tell people because well, people are weird about God a little bit lately. So, um, yeah, people can be triggered when you talk about stuff like that. But
I felt something similar. No, when I was at the Chabad, I was an atheist, and it was like my first Shabbat dinner, and I felt this warmth in my chest that kind of washed over my body. So it's similar.
whoa,
Yeah, that's when I knew God existed. So
happened to
you
you
do
too.
feel it in your body.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember like I think someone said like it sounds okay when you say like I talk to God, but then when you add like through a toaster at the end of it. So
Right.
you always like I want to sound like I'm sane, but also like it
Right.
is like it's like out of this world experience,
Yeah.
unexplainable, unexplain whatever. You can't explain it.
Wow. The same thing happened
Yeah.
to you. That is wild.
Not the ringing in my ear or the vibrating, but definitely like feeling like this
Physical.
warmth. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the body feels it.
Was there a certain moment that triggered it? Where did it, like, do you remember what was happening when it started?
Yeah, just like the rabbi was talking, I had warm hollow in my stomach. Everyone was sitting around like talking to each other, all different backgrounds, and it just felt like a very warm environment. So then I think that when you feel safe, you get warm, you know?
So I started, first time praying this happens, and I asked a friend of mine who's really spiritual. He's like, he considers himself a Christian mystic, but he's really into meditation. He does Reiki. He's like an acupuncturist, super cool guy. Shout out to the Gaff. You can listen to his music too, and he's an incredible DJ. Makes really funky music. That's how he and I bonded. Was we both love funk music from the 70s
Mhm.
and groovy stuff from the 70s. So anyhow, he said to me, he's like, the fact that it was your first time was probably why it happened. That's like a gift from God. Like, that's the thing about God is you don't have to earn it. You don't have to deserve it. He's just there for all of us. And it's like a completely magnanimous. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah, magnanimous relationship.
Mhm.
So I wanted to explore this more and deepen this relationship with God. And I was living in Arizona at the time, and I was going to a lot of AA. And that's kind of how I really first got into AA as well. Was I realized it's kind of like a Tony Robbins seminar, but runs all day. You can go to a meeting anywhere, and it's totally free, and it's like personal and amazing, and you meet cool people and you hear cool stories. But it's all, at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of adults in a room talking about how they can be better people, and quite often talking about how they can connect with God and spread God through their works. So I was doing that, and I was finding that it was a good start to a relationship with God, but it wasn't deep enough. So I went to all these different religious institutions. I went to, uh, I went to like a super, like, this was Arizona. So they had one of those like super mega churches, like, like the down, like American, like, whoa, like with the band and all this stuff. And that was cool, but it was like not really much substance to it. And then I even went to a Jehovah's Witness service, which was very interesting because their whole thing is that they like do everything by the book, by the letter. Like, they don't celebrate birthdays, they don't celebrate holidays, because all the holidays are like from pagan traditions. Easter is named after the god Caesar. So they're like on point with like certain stuff. But then they have this little pamphlet that they publish every week called the Watchtower, and they run their whole service from the Watchtower. So it's like, who's publishing this? Like, you're treating it as like your religious doctrine. It's like your lahavdil. It's like the way we bring out the Torah, and like that's what we build everything around the Torah. They're doing it all lahavdil around this little pamphlet. Lahavdil means to separate. So if you're talking about something holy, you have to say that. So that was just bizarre to me. Anyway, so there was something in every religion that was kind of cool, but then there was like just nothing was clicking. So I then I had this experience on the airplane and found out that, there's this lineage thing, and dived right into Judaism. Yeah.
As a Jew, what does your life look like today?
Well, like I said, I do the tape and the Modani and all that stuff. Then I go to shul. Well, first I do the red light and like some biohacking stuff. And then I go to shul for chakras and do some learn Gemara with, do you know Mr. Horowitz?
Mm-mm.
He's a legend. You should really try it. You should go meet him one day. He's got an office and he is like a patriarch to the whole community.
Maybe he helped get me to Israel.
He probably did.
Actually,
He probably did.
yeah. He helped me go to Israel.
He's
to
been
study.
incredibly successful in his life, like very, very successful, and gave away the vast majority of his money to sending people to Israel.
Yeah, then yes. Did you go to Israel?
I have been there twice.
Did you study there? Or
I
just
did.
Vacation?
I went to second time was vacation. First time was I was doing yeshiva. Actually, funny. So I went out there because the industry was super dead. There was strikes, all this stuff. So I'm like, perfect time to go to yeshiva. So went out there, and the moment I touched down, turned my phone on, and a producer, shout out Matthew Einstein, amazing producer, blowing up right now, by the way, and great dude. And he's like, hey, I'm producing this movie in Israel. We need an American actor to play a lone soldier in this war film. You're here. Can you do it? And I was like, that's crazy. So that was like, a $2 million movie. That was a big opportunity for me. Got the opportunity as a result of being there and learning in yeshiva. So pretty cool. And that movie's coming out too.
Cool.
It's playing in the Miami Jewish Film Festival next week next week, the 18th. So if you're in Miami, check it out. Jerusalem 67, great film. And that's a really big festival too. They get like celebrities every year bringing their films there. And so it's a big deal. And it's also playing at the Phoenix Jewish Film Festival in Scottsdale. I'm going to be there. We're going to do a Q&A, the producer and I. Not Matt, the producer I just mentioned, but the other producer of the film, who is the main producer. It's his film. His name's Joe Schick. Shout out to Joe. Thanks for casting me, guys. So, yeah, I'm rambling a lot. Sorry about that.
It's okay. What yeshiva did you go to?
I went to Or Sameach and Aish.
And what was that experience like?
Really great. Or Sameach was, they're very different styles of learning. Or Sameach is very like Hamish, homey, like almost like a frat house sort of vibe, but like very like Gemara focused learning. Aish was a little bit more beginner friendly, kind of spiritual, bigger ideas, interesting concepts, but felt a little bit more institutional in the way it was set up and the whole vibe. So
Yeah.
Did you learn over there as well?
Yeah.
Neve or something?
No. Midrashet Rachel.
Whoa.
That's in Kiryat Moshe.
Okay.
It was very nice.
Kiryat Moshe.
It was wonderful.
Is that where you did your first conversion?
No, did it here.
Okay.
Both were here.
Who was the first based in?
I don't say.
Oh, okay.
I say in my book.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I say in my book.
You don't want to throw any shade or anything.
No, it's very political with the 40 Beit Din that are approved, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't get into that.
I understand. I totally understand. Yeah.
What is your ultimate goal in life?
That's such a cool question. I don't think anyone's ever asked me that. Well, I want to write and direct films and star in them. That's like the new element. My dream was always to be a writer director, and I never had any desire to be on camera. But then after I moved to LA, I kind of just fell into acting, and so now that's part of the journey too. And I like it; it's fun. And that is like the Woody Allen vibe of like being right there on, like you're literally in the movie, your personality and everything, but also you physically in the movie. So that's really cool. And that was like a gift from God that I never even wanted for myself, but it's dope. And so that's what I'm working on right now. And bigger picture is to, well, obviously have kids and raise a family with my wife, and really just spread the message of God and promote God to the whole world, and try to bring Jews back to the Torah and promote Orthodox Judaism, and just try to spread positivity and spread God through my work and my life and my career. Is that okay? How do people normally answer that question? It's
No,
very
that's
deep.
perfect. That's beautiful.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Make the world a more positive place.
You put it more succinctly than me. I like the way you worded it. Can we back that
I've
up?
worked on it. Awesome. Is there anything we didn't talk about that you want to add?
Oh, I want to tell you this crazy story. So,
Okay, go ahead.
so just on the literally like an hour or two ago, this production. Do you know what verticals are?
What are they again?
They're like this new format of filmmaking that's become very popular. They're these Chinese funded soap operas.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you've seen them.
I've
Yeah.
seen, yeah.
Yeah. So they're super cringy, but they pay great, and they're a lot of fun. The plots are crazy. Like,
They're like, I watched I swear I was in like 23 parts, but I just kept going because it was so ridiculous.
yes, they're very addictive.
Yeah.
They've found a way to combine the addictiveness of a soap opera with the addictiveness of scrolling, and they're onto something. These things are a massive hit. So anyway, I've done a bunch of them, but I got offered one in China, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I think somebody like fell out and they need someone last minute. But I wasn't really taking them seriously because like they wanted me to come, and I don't know, like Sunday we start filming over there. So I was like, yeah, it's never gonna happen. Then they were like, so what are we doing this? Are you coming? Like, here's your flight information. Do these flights work? And I'm like, are you serious? Like they want me to fly out tomorrow. So like we're talking like 24 hours notice. So I'm like trying to get my shifts covered at the Milky Way. Shout out to the Milky Way. Amazing dairy kosher restaurant here in LA. Definitely gotta try it. Owned by the Spielberg family, so tons of cool pictures on the walls and stuff. Just an awesome place, beautiful community vibe. And so I'm trying to get my shifts covered over there, and so I can go to China because I have to fly. I have like the latest I can go so that I don't miss. I can't be flying on Shabbat, but I can fly before Shabbat. And then I'll actually fly through Shabbat. Have you ever gone east? You like lose a day. So if I fly out Thursday night, I'll arrive there Friday night. Isn't that crazy? Just skip
That's
Shabbat.
crazy.
No Shabbat. And it's like
Or
that's
Saturday night,
that's
you
how the
mean?
rabbi told me to do it. Yeah, you arrive Saturday night. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. And
So
how are you going to keep kosher there?
well, I'm just gonna have to like bring up. My plan is just to bring a big tub of protein and like make sure I'm getting my proper servings of grams of protein every day, and then basically just like fast. Other than that,
Is there Chabad in China?
there is. There's actually a Jewish community there too.
I know, from World War II, right? Or was that a different one?
Maybe. Okay. Well, there was as either I think in Shanghai there was a big community at one time around the time of World War II, and then after when the Red Revolution started, they all just left. They saw the writing on the wall, like, oh, we've seen this before, communism is like very much against religion. So I don't know where they went, but apparently there's a huge Jewish museum in Shanghai where you can learn all about it. And actually, one of the main guys in the community was from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, where I'm from. His name was Moshe Two Gun Cohen, and he was a gangster. He was born in around where my mom's side of the family's from, and immigrated to Saskatchewan around the same time as my great-great-grandparents would have. And he was like kind of a gangster, kind of like liked to gamble, hang out with all these Chinese guys because they were building the railroad because they like to gamble too. And then one day, this guy came in, was accosting these Chinese people, and he like stuck up for them and like defended them. He's a tough guy. And so they said, oh, this is like, he's a good guy, he's with us. So when Chairman Mao came to town, Chairman Mao did a tour across Canada to raise funding for the Red Revolution. They introduced Chairman Mao to this guy Moshe Two Gun Cohen, and Moshe Two Gun Cohen ended up becoming his bodyguard. And he goes all the way to China and is like front row center of this communist revolution as Chairman Mao's bodyguard. So
That's your fourth screenplay right there.
it should be a movie,
My
right?
gosh.
Right?
That's so cool.
Isn't that a great story? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, some gems coming out of there.
Let's see if I can say it. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Saskatoon,
Saskatoon.
Saskatoon.
Oh my gosh, Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
It's tough.
I feel like
It
that's
is a
like
real
one of those songs, where they sing really fast, like
yeah.
"End of the World" by REM.
Well, Johnny Cash has a song about it, and Joni Mitchell is from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know who Joni Mitchell is?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know who Gordie Howe is by any chance?
No.
He's the greatest hockey player of all time. He's also
Okay.
from there.
Okay.
And yeah, there's that's pretty much it actually.
Nice.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Baltimore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like
I
Baltimore proper?
guess. Like the county and then the city when I was older.
Interesting. Did you ever watch The Wire?
I lived it.
Right.
No, both my parents were like violently beaten up, and I mean, you really see like
my
people
God.
walking around with
Seriously?
like, yeah,
Like they got mugged violently?
yeah, and people like walk around with like holes in them because they're shooting heroin in the back of their knee because they've used up every other vein. I mean, it's dystopian.
That's
I love
so
Baltimore, but it also has its issues. Violent, like Saskatchewan.
Right.
What is it?
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
I'll let you say it. Right.
Wait, so but there is, so this is the original point. There is actually a community there of like born in China Jews. One of them lives here in LA. He was telling me about it. He's a Chinese guy, and they're like totally Jewish. Like he's like a frum guy, really yeshivish dude too.
They must have the best Chinese kosher food.
I know. Apparently I gotta get there. I really want to go. I think I'm gonna be in Beijing if it all works out. We'll see if it's like last minute, but and it's like this community is like near Beijing, right near it, and apparently there's like something like 400 Jews that are like born in China. So we're literally everywhere. Like, have you ever met an Indian Jew?
Yeah, I had one on the podcast. I mean,
Oh.
he converted, but
Oh, really?
but there are Indian. Yeah, there's Indian Jews from
Cool.
Iraq. They went from Iraq to India because India never persecuted Jews.
Right.
So, yeah, they're everywhere.
There's like a big community in Kerala and Calcutta. And yeah, we literally are ever. When I was in yeshiva, there was a guy from Sweden and a guy from what's the other one right by Sweden?
Finland,
No, the other
Switzerland,
one. No. Oslo, Norway.
Norway.
Okay. Yeah. So like, come on, like Jews in Norway and Sweden and like, wow, it's just wild.
Everywhere.
Yeah. I wonder if there's any in Iceland.
There's one in Greenland. I know there's one. I just saw
What?
an interview with him.
No way.
Iceland,
Well,
maybe there's a Chabad there now. I don't know. It's hard because I think they don't have sundown in the summer, and that would just make it really difficult. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Where can people find you if they want to follow you?
my Instagram, Roman Thomson X, no P in Thompson, as we discussed at the top of the show. And yeah, my IMDb page, stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
Thank you so much.
coming on.
Thanks so much for having me.